Hello friends, I'm delighted to welcome you to this webinar on Learn to CAT. In this webinar, we are going to discuss how to perform powerful analytics in a few clicks. And we will be taking up case studies of bank branch audit. Let's just get started. I'll quickly give an overview of the concept of data analytics and how ECAT can be used. Most of you would be familiar with MS Excel. Now here we are going to look at how we can use data analytics software called ECAT. This is a brief introduction of myself. I'm a chartered accountant. I passed my CA in 1985 and the CISA exam in 1995. And I have special expertise in data analytics, business intelligence, and COBIT. COBIT, you know, is a globally accepted framework for any information technology, governance, assurance, and consulting services. I've been one of the senior most faculties of the DISA course and have also contributed various articles for the CA Institute. There's a vision of a company. Since the last 10 years, I've been working on developing data analytics solutions primarily for CAs and CXOs. So our vision is to be the global leading solution provider in data analytics for empowering professionals to realize the potential. Now, if you look at the keyword, we are looking at applying thought to technology. As CAs, I believe we are all intellectuals. Now we should learn how to apply a thought to technology so that we can provide value addition to our clients. And we believe in developing innovative software solutions. Most of the software solutions we have developed are unique, and there are very, very few solutions in this area. And they're primarily focused on CAs and CXOs. We believe in harnessing the power of chartered accountants, especially their subject matter expertise, so that they can use technology much more effectively to be more productive. This is the approach. We believe our system should help you to scale up services for empowering you to serve your clients in shorter time with greater value addition and higher use of technology. Our solutions are made for the new age digital auditor. So we help you to future-proof your career and accelerate the growth of your career. These are the 4 learning objectives I've kept. First, why use data analytics software? I'm going to spend only a brief time on this. I'd like to spend more time on the demo so that we can get a practical perspective how to use the data analytics software. We'll look at the 7 steps for using data analytics software and especially even ECAT. And we'll look at demo of powerful analytics functions in a few clicks. How can we do that? And look at the case study. I have sample data of banks and some audit tests we can perform using ECAT. Let's look at the first topic, why use data analytics software? We know data is available in digital format. There is a time when it was difficult to get data from banks. Now you find that most of the data for the purpose of the audit in most of the banks are given in digital format. So it means we can get the data and do audit on the digital data, and only for physical documentation, you have to visit the branch and check. Most of the analysis, you can do it offline at your own site, at your own office, or at the staff place, depending on the way you're working. Now, these are the type of questions data analytics answer. You can get hindsight of what happened, how many, how often, where. You can also get insights into where is the problem, what actions are needed. You can also get foresight when you look into the future. Why use data analytics software? So data analytics software is a must-have capability for the audit function and is widely expected to become a big part of its future. What is data analytics is all about? It is a science of examining raw data with the purpose of drawing conclusions and inferences about that information. So if you were to just summarize the data analytics, it is all about inferring insights from information. What can you do with data analytics and BI? This tells you can establish facts. There are certain facts you want to establish. You can confirm that. You can explore hunches. For example, you have a doubt whether the limit has been exceeded in certain cases. You can explore the hunches. You can draw inferences and you can confirm hindsight. You can also obtain insights and validate the foresight. Now let's go to the second topic. Primarily, we're looking at how to perform powerful analytics in a few clicks. Let's look at the 7 steps. In any data analytics assignment, first we identify the objectives and the deliverable. What do we want to achieve and what is we want to deliver to the client? And based on that, we identify the data and the platform in which the data is available. We understand the business process and the system. We document the controls and tests we want to evaluate, the criteria we want to use for the purpose of testing. And then we apply the relevant tools and techniques. When I say relevant tools and techniques, we might be using even Excel is an excellent tool. We could use Excel, but Excel has its own limitation because it is not designed for audit. And when I show you the demo, you'll see what more you can do beyond what is possible in Excel. You can apply techniques, draw inference and insights, and you can prepare the output. Now, most of you would be familiar with these key functions in MS Excel. There have been a lot of seminars and webinars on how to use Excel for bank audit. I'm not going to get into the details. I think they're quite useful. What I suggest is you can definitely use them, and depending on the need, you decide which could be useful. There could be cases where Excel could be used, but there are a lot of places where you can go beyond Excel. And that's what my objective today, how you can go beyond Excel to perform data analytics much more powerfully. These are some of the key functions which are available in MS Excel. Now, if you look at the key functions and tests you can perform using data analytics, this I've just given you some sample tests, about 30 types of functions. All that you can do in Excel, you can do mostly in data analytics software, but you can do much more. Now, these are the top 20 data analytics functions. I'm going to show you at least 10 of them when we do the review with the sample data, and specifically in the context of the bank branch audit. Now, we are going to do this using software called ECAT. ECAT is India's first data analytics software. It is developed by auditors for auditors to audit any digital data. It is taken extensive time. It is a team effort of more than 25 man-years. It's a very simple software. It's an add-in to MS Excel. When you install the software, it will be part of Excel. I'll show you a little later how it works. Some of you are already customers. You already know how the software works. So what the beauty of this software is, it provides a right blend of simplicity, because if you're already familiar with Excel, you can definitely use ECAT because it has the ease and use of Excel, but the power of data base behind it. Now, if you look at the two versions of ECAT, one is the ECAT Enterprise, which is a data analytics or BI for enterprise and CXOs. And next we have ECAT Pro, which is a data analytics software specially designed for CAs and their teams. This is a quick comparison analysis based on the release of 2021 March. If you look at any data analytics software, these are the key functions you should be able to broadly perform. You should be able to curate, you should be able to profile, you should be able to analyze and perform sampling. You should be able to investigate, relate to elements of data. You can perform documentation, auto documentation, and you can also have various utilities, and you have tools. And where is that used for? If you see here, you have a lot of functions for curating the data, but in the case of data analytics software like ECAT, you find it's an Excel enhancer and a time saver. A lot of functions which you can do. For example, you may be able to do a pivot table and get result. You find the same thing we can do in ECAT, but you can do it much more faster and in a much more simpler way. You can also perform data analytics in the fraud investigation. It also has features for business intelligence and MIS and fraud investigation. Now, this gives you the list of functions available in each of the software. Now, broadly classified into the features, you see here, you can look at it as an Excel enhancer or a time saver. You're already using Excel. You can definitely enhance the power of Excel, and it saves time. You can perform data analytics and fraud investigation. You can perform business intelligence, MIS, and it also has features of auto documentation. So these are the 7 key benefits of using ECAT. You can definitely enhance your skills and tools, grow your professional team and esteem, gain recognition as a thought leader, because you'll definitely be able to provide valuable insights. So as I said, our primary focus on how can you apply thought to technology. You have certain questions, you want to interrogate the data, you should be able to use the tools, features and functions of the software to query and interrogate the data and get the right answers so that you can draw the inferences and report to the management. So this is how ECAT helps you in data analytics. You have the knowledge, you have the skill. ECAT provides you the tools and techniques so that you can provide value addition. Now, ECAT can be used by auditors, it can be used by fraud investigators, it can be used by the management and CXOs. Each one can use from their own perspective. For example, auditors would be looking at answering the audit questions, fraud investigators would be looking at identifying possibilities of fraud, and management CXOs would be looking more from the point of the business intelligence. So these are the 7 steps of using ECAT for data analytics. So you get the data ready for data analytics. You would have find most of the Excel-based webinars, they spend considerable amount of time to get the data ready for audit. So you need to get the data ready for audit. Like they say, Anupam here has an acting school, an actor prepares. Now, similarly, a data analyst also prepares the data so that it can be ready for analysis. You always perform the data analytics on a copy of the file. You don't use the original file. You always make a copy of the file so that you can trace the file. You perform harmonized sheets. This is where you curate the data, get the data and headers in right format. The simple rule, if I have to say, for using data analytics is the data should be in a tabular format, which means the first row will be the headers, which means the column names. And after that, you have all the data below it in each of the rows. And you will ensure that the column names are not common and each of the column has a unique name. These are the basic and simple rules for performing data analytics in ECAT. Now, you also do a data dictionary, which means once you get the data, the data which you get from the client, for example, you get a loan advance file or any other file, they may give you the data which has got so many files. You need to understand each of the column, what does it represent? And that's what is called as a data dictionary. So it means you prepare a separate file with the column name for in each of the rows. Beside that, you'll write what is the significance of that particular column, what are the business process or business rules or the validations which apply to each element of data. For example, let's say you have the customer ID. You know the customer ID has to be unique. It cannot be duplicate. For example, you have, let us say, the loan ID. So in that case, you know the loan ID, multiple loans could be given to different people, but you would like to, you can also group it based on the loan so that you can know, as per the customer, how many loans has been given. And they follow a particular pattern for giving the customer ID and the loan ID or the ID for each type of loans. You should be very, very familiar and confirm whether the it follows the same pattern. So whenever you're performing data analytics, especially when you're performing ECAT, it's important to keep only the fields which are relevant for audit and remove the unwanted field which doesn't provide any value addition. So you review the field formats and change it to the required format. This is also very critical. For example, if you got a date data, that column should have only date related data, which means when you filter on Excel, you should know whether it has got only date and doesn't have any other data. Similarly, it's a character, you should have only character data. It's a numeric, if a numeric, it has got only numeric data. Then only you can apply relevant functions as applicable. And then based on your objective and the deliverables, you perform specific functions as required. So what is the distinction between MS Excel and ECAT? So you find the biggest is the time saver. It enhances the use of MS Excel. It's business intelligence and MIS on the fly. And you can perform data analytics in a few clicks. Now, this is all the common panels which are available in any data analytics software. You curate the data, you profile the data. Now, this profiling of the data has become very significant, especially in view of the latest changes in the LFAR, where they want you to look at the discrepancies and the trend of the loans and various other patterns. So this profiling helps you to get an overall macro perspective of each of the elements of data. And data analytics software like ECAT is very, very useful in this. You can analyze the data depending on critical factors. I'll show you at least 10 or 12 functions of how you can analyze the data. You can investigate depending on the need. And you can also do documentation, which means quite often The software also documents what has been done inside the software, and it has got various utilities and tools. So we looked at, now let's look at the demo of the powerful functions in data analytics. Let me close this. ECAT and data analytics relationship, if you see, you need to understand the business process controls, identify the information criteria which you want to use for evaluation. Based on that, you use the relevant tools and techniques, and then you report. Let's look at the case study, which I'm going to come a little later. So you can do more in less time using ECAT. You can also watch the demo. This is a simple principle is always followed. It's not about the data that you have, it's about the data that you want. So you should be able to analyze the data so that you can draw inference depending on the need of your audit. So when you use data analytics, you can provide assurance at the speed of the business and provide trust on the digital data which is available inside technology. The most important differentiator when you use data analytics is you'll be able to get a big picture view of the data. Now with this, I'll close my presentation. Now let's get back to action where I'd like to pick up specific functions. Let me pick up brief overview. Now this is a list of all the functions. If you see here, I said ECAT is available in two flavors, ECAT Enterprise and ECAT Pro. Here I'm just showing you, this is an add-in software. If you look at add-in software, now if you see here, this is Excel. These are all the functions which are available in Excel. Now these are additional software which you got. For example, you got E2 TallySoft, which is primarily for importing data from MS Excel templates to Tally. Now this is ECAT Enterprise, which I'm going to show. We got one more software called TCAT, which will be conducting webinar a few days later. This primarily for extracting data of masters and transactions and reports from Tally to Excel in a structured manner so that you can do analysis as required. We also had recently developed a software called Auto Import to Tally for a client in Hyderabad, where they wanted to import data, create templates for multiple branches. There are 15 branches. They wanted to create a single template based on which it automatically creates the data for all the 15 branches, which can be imported at one go, one by one for each of the branches. Now let's focus on our ECAT. ECAT is an add-in software, like I said. If you look at when you click on this, now this gives you all the functions which are available in ECAT. Now if you see here, we have the curate panel, profile, analyze, investigate, document, utilities, and tools. Now if you see here, I've just picked up an Excel sheet which has got the list of all the functions, and I have just picked up the rows which have got functions. F stands for functions. If you see here, totally we'll be having 380. Now this is only for this one. I think I've already filtered it based on specific criteria. Let me just pick up all the functions. If you put all the functions put together, this is for ECAT Pro. If you see ECAT Pro, we've got totally 127 functions in this. Now if you see here, based on the curate. Now what does curate mean? Now you see, when you look at the function, it becomes very, very simple. So you find there are about how many? If you look at this, there are about 24 functions. You can select a column or a list of selected columns, and you can remove the non-alphabetic characters, remove the non-numeric characters, and remove non-alphabetic and non-numeric characters, remove selected characters, remove multiple spaces, remove all spaces, that is leading space and trailing spaces, empty rows or blank rows, empty columns or blank columns, hidden rows or columns. Like that, you've got various functions. You can remove the external or hyperlinks, extract visible cells, which means you already filtered, you want to extract only this. For example, I have got this data. I want to extract only this data. I can just go to transform and say extract visible cells. Now what you'll find is it will extract only the files which are visible. See, it's already copied this. The formatting is lost, but you can do the formatting. Let me come back here. Now this is what you got. Now let's go further and look at what are the functions which are available in the profile panel. If you go to profile panel, so you got totally 17 functions in the profile panel. Now just look at the names. The name of the function is self-explanatory. You can highlight or identify unique numbers or negative numbers, highlight function errors, top last text, which means top 10 values you can pick up in each of the categories, column statistics, column properties, row properties. You can perform stratify based on numeric, date, or character. You can also perform classify, group by aging, etc. Okay, like that we have got hundreds of functions in each of these areas. Let's say if you go to analyze. Okay, now if you see here in analyze, you got 20 functions. This is what you can do: analyze and identify duplicates, identify uniques. You may say that identify duplicate is available in Excel also. When I show you the function, you'll get an idea in what way ECAT functions of duplicate are superior to what is available in Excel. You can remove duplicates. You can identify same, different, which means one or two columns being same, the third value is different. For example, you got the customer ID and the customer number, whereas the address is different. The same customer ID, same customer number, but the address is different, or the PAN number is different. Okay, you can also identify duplicate same row. For example, you can make a checker, you find the same maker and checker are there. You can identify gaps in numeric data, character data. You can identify the outliers. Like that, you have got various types of functions. Okay, you can also perform investigate. I'll just show this last one. Let's say if I'm looking at investigate. Okay, now there are 19 functions here. This is what you can do. You can compare files. You can compare worksheet. You can compare columns. You can compare column with another column. You can compute and compare. You can perform MIS, Pareto, ABC analysis, etc. Okay, now let's go ahead. So there are, like that I said, there are so many functions. I'm just going to close this because I want to show the demo. Similarly, if you come to ECAT Enterprise, like I said, it's a much bigger software. So you got many more functions here. Now let's say if I look at the total number of rows in this, we have got 465. If you look at the functions, it'll have about 388 functions. So now if you just look, I'll just show you one example. If let's say I pick up only the curate functions, there are about 71 types of curate functions. Similarly, let's say I look at the functions which are pertaining to profiling. So there are 43 functions pertaining to profiling. This data information about what are the functions available is also available on our website. Okay, you can also find out inconsistent formula, inconsistent date format, inconsistent data format, cells having comments. You can do a lot of analysis using data analytics. Okay, I'll close this. Now let's get started with the demo we just talking about. Okay, let me come back to our Excel file. Now there are two files I've got. One is sample audit test. Now this is the audit test I've got. I've already performed the test. I'll show you the result. Then I think what we'll do is we'll also perform the test. Let me expand this a little more. Now if you see here, this is a loan balance file which is shared by one of our clients. Now what you can perform is this. I've just given sample tests which you can perform. Okay, I'll also show you how this can be done. So harmonized sheet, this is the data preparation I talked about. Now identify duplicates. Okay, identify multiple loans to the same account number. Identify duplicate summary, which means you identify the number of loans as per the customer. You can also do classify, which means you can find the number of sum of loans as per the customer. You can also do sorting, which is available in Excel. You can also do data classify based on the facility. You can find out cases where outstanding greater than the limit by using compute and compare, or you can also use the Excel functions. It is not necessary in all the cases you should use data analytics. Excel also is good wherever it's required. Okay, you can also use outstanding greater than limit and also apply the percentage. Data stratify. Now this is where it could be very powerful. You can stratify the data based on specific requirements. You can stratify, summarize the data based on the limit. So these are some of the examples I have given. Let me show you the results. For example, there is a simple function called column statistics. Now if you look at the column statistics, now this is what it gives me. This is for the numeric statistics. Now if you see the data, loan balance file, I got the limit. Okay, now how many this one are there? Now if you see 1022, which means if you remove the header, 1021 rows are there. Okay, here also 1021. Now come to the statistics. Now if you look at the statistics, it gives the average of positive records, average of negative records, average of all the records. Okay, number of positive records, total number of records, if there are any null value records, number of distinct records, which means here if you look at the limits, there are 249 distinct limits which are available. Similarly, if you look at outstanding, there are 1012 distinct limits, distinct outstandings, sum of all the records. What is the minimum value in the limit? The minimum value is 5,600. In the outstanding, there is one account where the balance is only 2 rupees. This gives you the absolute value. It also computes the variance. Now, in case this bit computed through Excel, you will also be able to find out whether the formula has been correctly and consistently applied. And if there's any inconsistent formula, you can find out that. Now, let's look at classify heading based on the type of the loan. Now, here classify based on the heading, which means now if you come back to this loan file, now if you see here, I got the heading, which is the type of the loan. Now, I'm going to do classify based on the type of the loan. When I classify based on the type of the loan, I get for each type of a loan, what is the count, what is the percentage, what is the sum of the outstanding, and what is the percentage of the outstanding. Okay, so this gives you overall analysis so that you can get an idea about what is the profiling of the loans inside the branch. And now you can also do through pivot table. Now you see the advantage in this case. I'll show you this function. So it becomes very, very simple to perform this. Let's say I'm going to perform this function. Now, this classify based on the heading. Let me come to the file here. Now, where is classify available? I come to eCat Enterprise. This is one of the most commonly used function. I come to data. I say classify. Now, I'm going to classify based on the heading. Okay. Now, I want total of the limit and the outstanding. I can also get the average, minimum, max. In this case, I'm not doing that. I can also perform classify on classify. It's like pivot on pivot. Okay. So I say, okay. Now you see in a few seconds, I'll get the result. What is that I expect in the result? Now you see this where I said you can do dynamic analysis. Now here, if you see for each of the type of the loan, I get what is the count and what is the sum and what is the sum of the outstanding. Not only that, I just want to sort this in ascending order. I just do a single click. Now you see here, I get this in ascending order. Now I'm a little surprised about this one loan, which is of 55,000. I want to see the details. I just double click. I'll be able to get the details of this one loan, what is this and why this is called as other loans. Which means I can actually double click and drill down. Similarly, I have the staff home loans. I want to see the 2 staff home loans. I just double click. I'll be able to get the staff home loans. Now, in this case, this is a very simple file. I don't have the date and date of sanction, etc. If I had that, I can also do further analysis based on that. Now, what are the number of staff loans? Now, here I get the complete list of the staff loans. I can also make a note of the account numbers of the staff and then check whether staff have taken, same staff, have they taken any other loans. Now, this gives me what is the limit and what is the outstanding. Now, similarly, if you look at the SME transport operator, I just double click. I'll be able to get the details of that SME operator loans. Now, let's come back to this one. Gold loan. They are totally given 280 gold loans. I want to see the details of this. I've got this detailed list of all the 280 gold loans. In gold loans, I want to see there is one case where the outstanding is 0. Then I would like to know why this is still being shown. I can just single click. Now this will be sorted. Now in this case, you see all this account, there are only 7 rupees outstanding, 152 outstanding, 641 outstanding. Now again, if I do a single click, I'll be able to get the loans. In this case, quickly I know the amount is 3,50,000. 3,50,000. The outstanding is 3,55,403. Now I don't have the date of loan. Based on the date of loan, I could also, it looks like it's a fresh loan. Okay, here also you see 3,50,000. So I'll be able to get a quick analysis based on this. Okay, all these are gold loan based on agriculture. Okay, this is how I can do a loan. For example, I want to see the student loan. I can get the details. This is what I said is classify. Now here, like what you have on pivot and drill down, I can get this. So not only that, the advantage in this case is I want to extract, let's say for the purpose of analysis, I want to extract. When I say extract, what it also gives me is, it gives me in each of the categories, I want to select, for example, all the student loans I want to analyze. I select this student loans. I want to select this car loans. I want to select this home loans. Now in this case, now in pivot table, it will be difficult. Here I can just say extract. Now I'll be able to get details of all these particular loans. See, now this becomes my audit working paper, which you can give to my staff and ask them to look at the documentation of this. Now let's come back again. Same thing which I said classify. Now I'd like to classify based on the customer ID, or let's say we want to look at the facility. Same thing. I just come to data, classify. In classify, I want to do based on the facility, and I want total of the limit and the outstanding. Now here, yes, I'm looking at the facility. I also want to extract based on the average, minimum, max. Okay. Now if you see here, there are multiple information I'm getting. This is what I said, powerful analytics in a few clicks. Now, if I have to do this in pure table, I have to keep on adding columns and keep on changing the field settings to see that we're able to get the data for each of them. Now, see, in a few seconds, I've got the result. Not only that, now if you see here, I got the complete results. What is the count of the facility for each of the parties? For example, facility as per each of the facilities. Let me just summarize this. Now, this gives me sorted. Now, if you see gold loan 272, now you got express credit rated 127, pension loans 82, like that I get this. Not only that, I also get the average limit, what is the minimum limit, maximum limit, what is the sum of outstanding, the average outstanding, minimum outstanding, and the maximum outstanding. Now, this is a gold mine of information. I can just, if I want this data to do further analysis, I can just say Excel. Now, this data will be copied and stored in Excel, and you can do further analysis or do loan verification depending on your need. Now you see, we got all this data. I can do further analysis based on requirements. Let's come back here again. Now here, let's say I want to do based on the customer ID. Now let's look at this way. I want to do now, let's make it a little more complicated. I want to do based on the facility, and then I want to group it based on the customer name. Let's see how I can do this. I come to classify. Now I picked up based on the customer name, not heading, customer name, and I want, let's say, only limit. Okay, and I want to group based on the facility, or I say, let's say, based on the type. So I can decide which I want. For example, in this case, I'm going to take up the facility. Now you see what will happen. Now here I should be able to get for each of the facility, what are the customers who have obtained this particular loan. For example, here, if you see here, it gives me the facility, and for each of the facility, what is the name of the customer loan and what is the total amount which has been given. So here, when I click on this, so I can see if there are any multiple loans which has been taken by a single customer. It looks like we don't have any multiple loans. Now here, if I want to look at, let's say, summarize based on the facility, if I just sort it, I'll be able to know, okay, these are the loans which are under this facility, which have been granted to this party. ATL primary, these are the loans which have been granted. Now I want to classify based on the customer name. I just do a single click. Now it organizes this based on the customer name, and now based on the customer name, I'll be able to know, okay, what are the facilities they have taken and what is the total amount outstanding. So you see here, you are able to perform multiple dynamic analysis depending on the need. Now it also gives you, for example, you want to see what is the total sum of the limit. If you just click on this, now it'll tell you what is the maximum limit here, what is the sum of the limit, what is the minimum in each of these cases, and what is the count of the loans which have been given. Right, now let's come back to the result which you talked about. Now I want to see based on the account number, I've got the account number and the customer name. I want to find where the account number is same, but the customer name is different. Okay, so what do we do in this case? This is where I said, I can identify duplicates. Let's do that first thing. Identify duplicates. I'll come to the same different a little later. Let me show you this. Now I want to identify duplicates based on the account number, which means, do we have same account number repeated? I said details and I say, okay. No records found. This confirms that there are no duplicate account numbers. Okay. Now, do we have customer ID here? I don't have customer ID. I'm going to see it in a different file. Now, is it possible with the same customer name, I've got multiple account numbers? Let's just check that also. I come to identify duplicates and I say I want to identify duplicates based on customer name. Now, it could be possible if the same customer name is there, who has taken multiple loans, I should be able to get the details here. Here, if you see this, so we have got cases. How many cases are there? There are 304 cases where for the same customer here, if you see here, we have given two different types of loans. For example, Dilip Kumar Sahu, account number is this. This is a gold loan, Okay, again, this is also a gold loan. They have created 2 account numbers. Okay, why did they create 2 account numbers and why did they have this? Because you don't have the customer ID. It could be possible if you take the customer ID, it might be having a unique customer ID. So similarly here, if you see here, I got this. Now this you could say that I can get this in Excel also. Let me show you what else is possible here. Now I come back to again identify duplicates. Now in identify duplicates, where did you remember based on the customer name, I say I want the summary. Okay, when I say summary, now if you see here, at one glance, I'm able to know who are the parties to whom we have given multiple loans and how many times the loan has been given. Now, if you see here, just do a single click. Now, if you see here, this Debaraj Pradhan has been given 5 loans. Okay, now if you see here, if I just click on this, I'll be able to know, see maximum 5 and minimum is 2. Now, let's say I'm looking at all the parties who have been given more than 3 loans. I just give 3 here. I'll be able to pick up. There's only one party. Let's double click and see the details. I find this party has been given multiple loans. Now, if you see 5 types of loans have been given. Now, gold loan, you have got 2 types of gold loans. Then you have personal loans. There are 3 types of personal loans which has been given. Now, there is the express credit rated. Then you also express credit instant top. Okay, so you can definitely have a look and see whether it's a what is that? If it is outstanding, if one of the loan is gone to substandard, then all of them have to be substandard. And second is what is the reason that this person has been given multiple loans. Okay. Now let's say from this I want to identify unique names. This then I can use a function called remove duplicates, where I can pick up that information. For example, let's say I want to pick up all the types of loans which are available. Let's say I just go to identify and say remove duplicates. In duplicates, I got something called remove duplicates. And I want based on the heading. Now, if you see here, it removes the duplicate and retains ones. Okay, now I'm able to know clearly what are the type of this one. For example, these are the type of loans which have been granted in this particular bank. Okay, let's go further. Now, I was telling you about classify. I've already shown you statistics. I've shown you classify heading. Then this is about the classify as per the facility. This I've already shown you. Then you are seeing here classify as per the customer name for each of the customer. Let's perform this. This is interesting, which means for each of the customer loans, how many loans have we given? The same thing, customer loan. I just come here and say classify. I can also use group by, because in the case of group by, the difference is it could be character or numeric. In classify, it has to be only character. I pick up the customer name and I want the limit and the outstanding. So you see here compared to pivot table, this is much more simpler and easier. I can also add the average, minimum, max, and I say okay. Now you see at one glance, about out of 1021 loans, 861 are the customer loans, which means there are so many multiple loans. 160 cases, there are multiple loans. I just do a single sort. Now here you find for each of the parties, how many loans have been given. I get this complete outstanding. Now let's say I want to do sampling or I want to do topics. I'll come to that also. Now this is what we finished. Let me just close this. Let's see whether we have covered all the tests which I want to perform. Classify as per the customer name, duplicate as stratified random. This is another thing which I want to show you. Okay, stratified random means I want to stratify based on the type of the loans. Let me show you. This is a very interesting function. Now I've got this data, loan balance file. What I would like to do is I want to stratify the data for numeric based on the limit. So it means I want to get an idea about what are the type of limits they are given, and I want to group the loans as per the limit. Okay, now you find here it is 5,600 to 75 lakhs is the amount. Let me group it based on, let's say, stratify. Now tell me if you have to do the same thing Excel, how much time it will take, and just see here what happened. I fill, so it means it's actually automatically created the strata, and I say okay. Now, see, in a few seconds, I should be able to get the complete result. It will tell me for each strata, okay, between 5,600 to 2,05,559, what are the total number of loans which has been given? Between 2,05,600 to 4,05,223. Like that, I get a complete list. Now, here, if you see, these are the exceptions. Now, if you see here, the parties who are above 10 lakhs, above 8 lakhs, we have got about, let's say, 15, 18. Now, I want to extract this particular loans because I want to do a detailed document verification for these parties. I can say extract. Now, here I can say I want to extract these loans because these are high value loans. I want to extract these details. I can extract the details and give to my team, and they can do the loan verification. I'll also show you sampling little later. See, now I've already got the particular details. Okay, these are the 18 loans which are high value loans, which I want to check. Now, if you look at the limit here, the total limit is quite substantial. Okay, this is what we got now. So we looked at the Stratify also. This just to give an idea about how you can perform the analysis. Okay, this is a very simple file. Let me close this. Now let me go to one more file. Now here I've got this one more file. Now here I have performed 51 audit tests. 51 audit tests in bank audit using ECAT with sample data and results. I don't have all the results, but I've just given the concepts, and then I'll take you a little further. Now if you say curate, use relate functions from curate panel to curate and format data. Stratify, I showed you stratify on limit to get overall idea of the type of the loans granted. Stratify on the gross outstanding amount. Summarize quick based on the customer ID. Summarize quick based on the summarize means that you actually get for each unique value to tell me what is the number and what is the value. You can also do classify, which I've shown you. Classify could be for any character fields I can perform. I can also do aging. For example, I got the list of advances with the date of advance. Now, till the date of the audit, I can actually, or the date of the financial year, end of the financial year, I can do aging analysis so that I can get to know what are the outstanding and what is the age group in which the loan falls. I can do a top loss text. I'm going to do a top loss text. Let's see what are the functions I'm going to do. I'm going to do top loss text. I'll do aging analysis to give the demo. I'll also perform column statistics. We can also search based on values. Identify duplicates, I've already shown you. Same different is another thing which I want to show you. Okay, I can also perform outliers, which means which are the loans which are beyond the normal range. I'll also show you that. We'll also look at the top last X, which means I want to pick up the top 10. This is one of the requirements of as per LFR. I want to pick the top loan as per each category or facility. You can do sort, you can do dynamic filter. We'll also perform a Pareto analysis. Okay, and ABC analysis. You can perform a cluster analysis, percentile analysis. You can stratify as per numeric day of the week. In this case, I don't have day related data. I can also group the transactions are as per the week so that I get to know what the number of loans which have been sanctioned as per each of the week. And then is there any irregular pattern, which means a lot of loans have been given during a particular period and also closed during a particular period. I can also use the relative size factor to find out what are the differing rate of interest in each category. For example, in each category or facility type, the loan interest should not be varying, and if it varies, it should be within a particular band. I can find out that. Similarly, I've got something called a maximum variance, which means what is the minimum interest rate and the maximum interest rate for each of the facilities. I can also query. I can join files, apply Benford law. I can do a three-way matching. I can compare, for example, you got a loan facility. Recently, I saw a webinar where the presenter was talking about getting 13 files of the loan balances and then appending them together and then doing the analysis for each of the months and doing a trend analysis of that. Now, in the case of ECAT, becomes much more simpler. We can just append here, there, just manually, he was trying to do it, adding one by one. Here you can do the append in a very simple way. Just select the files, all the files will be appended, and the worksheet name will also be added at the first column. You can compare files, you can validate the patterns, and automatically you can create the index files. Now let me show you the results what I got, then I'll perform some of the functions. Now this is the data I've got. Now if you see here, I got much more data in this. Let's see the number of rows. I got about 2,319 rows. Okay, this is the number, this is the limit. You've got the customer ID, account number, borrower name, class, facility, sector, gross amount, and the percentage outstanding which has been computed. Okay, now percentage amount is what I have computed. So this is just done in Excel itself. So this is a very simple thing. You can always just to get an idea what is the outstanding. So this also give you a quick idea. See, this is a very simple Excel function. We just apply the formula to find out compared to the limit what is the outstanding. This itself should give you an idea about which are the cases. Let's say apply a number filter. Which are the cases where the outstanding is greater than or equal to, let's say, 120, assuming the maximum interest rate is, let's say, 18%. I want to see which are the loans which are beyond 20%. Now you see here, these definitely would be the loans which could be coming under substandard because the outstanding is greater than the limit. Unless there have been a moratorium period also for this. Okay, this simple Excel function. So I'm not saying that you cannot use Excel. You can definitely use Excel depending on the need. Now let us remove the filter and come back to the analysis. Now I've already done this top loss tax. I'll show you the result. Now here I've got this top loss tax. As per each of the facility, I got the top 10 loans. Okay, now if you see here totally, how many loans do I have? I got totally 65, which means removing the header, 64 loans. Let's see how we can perform this top loss tax. Let's come to the data. So what is that I wanted to perform? I come to eCat Enterprise. I want to perform the top loss tax. I come to data. I perform top loss tax. Now selected worksheet having special characters. I said yes, remove the special characters. Right now I got this. What I want to do is I want to do as per the borrower name and I want to do it group based on the facility. Okay, I want to pick up all the cases, select all. Okay, and then I say okay. But there's one important thing I forgot. This is very, very important. What is the number of records I want? Okay, so in this case, I'm going to select, let's say, 10 in each of the facilities. I will look at top 10 records. I say okay. Now for each facility, he should be able to give me the top 10 borrowers. Now if you see here, totally I got 64. Why? How many facilities are there? Why I got 64? Because in some cases there are not more than 10. So it means the number of borrowers in each of the facility may not be so much. So here you get the top 10 borrowers are each facilities. Now you have got this analysis. You want to add it as part of your LFR report. Just save this in Excel. The job is done. Now same thing you want to do based on the sector. Now let me, before that, let's just get a quick idea. If I want to do the analysis, classify based on the sector. So based on the sector, okay, what is the total limit and the total outstanding, gross amount outstanding. Okay, I say okay. Now this tells me for each of the sector, now there are totally 7 sectors. For each of the sector, what are the number of loans which have been given and what is the total value? Now here if you see, I can summarize, this becomes very simple. I get an idea about what are the type of loans. Now here, let's say I want to find out the top loans as per the sector. So how do I do this? Very simple. I go to top loss tax. Now here I want to pick up based on the borrower name. I want to group it based now is I want to do it here based on the sector. That's all. Now I've already got all the sectors. There's one thing I missed. What is it? I want to give the number. So I want to give the total number is 10. Okay, now this is a mistake. What is the mistake? I selected the result sheet. I didn't select the data sheet. So let's come back to the data sheet. This is the data which is available. So here top loss tax. I come to the top loss tax. Now here I want to pick up, let's say in this case, I want to do based on the borrower name and group by sector. So here I go and select the sector. Okay. Now what is the next thing? Now if you see here, there are so many sectors. I select all the sectors. Now in this case, I want to select based on, I want the top 10. Now what is important is you need to select the right elements of data and give the right elements of values which you want. Now once you've done this, What it will do is for each of the sector, it pick the top 10 loans and give me this. Okay, now let's say if you have to do this in Excel, just imagine the amount of time it will take. I've got this data. For each sector, it has given me the number of loans. What do I do? If I want to save this, I just click on Excel. This will be saved. Okay. So we looked at the top last text. Now let's perform the same thing. If you see facility, all this I've already shown you. We can get based on. Now let me do the stratify based on the summarize. I didn't do the summarize. Let's do summarize. Let's see what happens in summarize. What is the unique thing about summarize? I'll also show you sampling, which is very important. Okay, I want to do, see, it's all about inferring insight from information. Using data analytics, you'll be able to get an overall perspective of the data. And this becomes very, very important considering the LFR requirement no, where they want to do a top level analysis. You'll be able to identify the trends, irregularities, or divergences in the data. So what is that I want to do? I want to do based on the limit. For each unique value of limit, I want the total of the limits. Okay. So you got it, very simple. So for each unique limit, I want to accumulate the limit. I can also get the gross amount. Let's do it that way. I say okay. Now I can also do through the pivot table, which means I just put the limit in that particular column. Then I should go to row, and then I have the value. Now you see the difference in this case. Now if you see here, for each limit, I'm able to get the count, the percentage, the total limit, the percentage. Again, it gives me the count of the gross amount, the gross percentage, everything. So it means at one glance, I'm able to get. Now let's see how many cases are there. Now let me sort this based on the limit. Now if you see here, there's 50 lakh, 2 loans have been given. 32 lakh 40,000, 1 loan has been given. For each unique value of loan, let me just do this based on the count. What are the maximum loans which have been given? Now here, if you see, based on the count, I find that the minimum is 1, maximum is 4, which means for each of the type amount, there are, oh no, here, sorry, I've got it here. Here, if you see here, the amount of 3 lakhs seems to be the most favorable one. 165 loans have been given this category. 1 lakh rupees, 156 have been given. 2 lakh rupees, 146 have been given. 50,000 rupees, 136. So it means you get an idea overall, what is the mix of the loans which has been given. Now this, I want to group it as per the facility. I can also get to know as per the facility. And if the facility has got a particular limit, then I also know, okay, whether that limit has been exceeded for each of the facilities. Okay, there are also some 0 loans. Now, for example, here you see limit is 0. Now there are 16 cases where the limit is 0, and we can see why these are there. So it means you got this particular amount. Now here you got this. Now in this case, there is definitely a discrepancy. Now in this case, it looks like there is an outstanding and the limit is entered as 0. Now this definitely is a irregularity which you need to find out as to why this happened. Was the limit not entered, or the limit was not sanctioned and still the loan was given? Or this could be pertaining to, this are all the borrower names and this Q sector. Now if you see here, there could be 2 cases here. Now I think it's very simple. I think there are 2 cases where one party has got 17 rupees, there's one party has 0 balance. The others are all pertaining to interest receivable accounts. So it means in this case, it's not a matter of concern. Now these are not borrower name. They have put this interest receivable also as the borrower in the borrower. So it means based on that, you should also know what the implication from the accounting point of view. Okay, let's quickly finish a few more things I want to show you. Let's say I want to do sampling. This is very important for you because most of you want to do sampling. Let's say I want to do sampling based on, let's say, analysis. I want to do based on, let's do the Pareto analysis, both of them together. Now I want to do Pareto analysis, and based on the Pareto analysis, I want to do the sampling. Now here, I want to do based on the, let's say, borrow customer ID. Let me take as per the customer ID. Okay, what is that I want to do? I want to do based on the gross amount outstanding. Okay, I want it to compute 80-20. Okay, so in this case, when I say 80-20, now this will be at one glance, it tells me there are 830 customer IDs who have actually taken 80% of the loans. Now, if you look at 20%, now if you see here, 1085 accounts constitute only 20% of the amount. Okay, this is what I called as Pareto analysis. I can also get the result in. Now I want to do sampling here. This is what I want to do. Let's say in Pareto, I want to do the sampling. I say sampling. Now it opens the data. Now here I can do sample size. I can enter the sample size, or I can enter the sample percentage. Let's say in this case, what are the number of accounts? Here is going to be 1 accounts. Here I pick up the number of accounts, only 1. Okay, here there are 3. Okay, here there are 14, in which I pick up, let's say, 1 account. Okay, now here I got 1. So I can decide what are the number of samples I want. I say extract. Based on this, the sample will be extracted. Now, what are the type of sampling I can perform? There are about 34 types of sampling which can be performed. For each category, it has extracted the sample. I can save this, and that becomes a part of my sampling papers. Now, let's say same sampling I want to do based on the, I want to do classify. Let's say, let's come back to sampling. Now, if you see here, I can do sampling based on interval, numbers, count. I can also do based on analysis. Let's say I want to do based on analysis. Let me pick up numeric analysis. What happens in numeric analysis? I can give the account number. I can say identify round of transactions. From that, I can pick up the sampling. Now, this is not what I want to do. Let's pick up another type of sampling. I got sampling, let's say profile. I want to do based on classified. Okay. Now, when I do classified, what I'm doing is based on the borrower number, I want to pick up based on the gross amount. Okay. It means for each borrowed name, it gives me the gross amount. And I also want to group it by facility. Okay, I say okay. Now this should tell me, if you remember classify what we did, it tells me for each facility and borrower wise, it gives me the number of accounts summarized. From that, I can pick the sampling, which means I can give the sampling number. Based on that, it will compute the sample. Now here you see that totally 2,164 categories here. Now based on this, I want to pick up sampling. Let's say I want to do based on the gross amount. I sort it based on the ascending order. So this gives you the accounts where the party amount is 0. Again, a single click. Now it gives me the amount based on the value. Now here I want to extract the sampling. I just click on the sampling tab. Now it gives me the sample size. Now here, if you see, I already got one party. So I can say I want 1 here. I can decide what is the sample I want for each of these categories. It will extract the number of samples based on what you selected. I'm just selecting a few examples here. I say extract. I can extract sample based on the total value of the loans. Now you see, these are the loans which have been extracted. I can use it for sampling. So depending on the need, I can perform the sampling. I've also shown you the Pareto. Same thing, I can also do ABC analysis. Let's come to ABC analysis. Data. No, ABC analysis is here. Okay, let's come to ABC analysis, like what I did for. This is the last function I'll show. It's similar to Pareto analysis. What do I want to do? I want to do based on the customer ID. Select primary field. Let's say I want to do based on the gross amount. Okay, now I want based on 60, 30, 10. This is what I want to do. And I want details of summary. I say summary. Now this will tell me, see, there are 449 accounts which constitute 60% of the loan. There are 672 accounts which constitute 30%. And there are 794 accounts which constitute 794. So I can give whatever percentage I want. I can extract the details of ABC analysis. Okay, so this just to give you a perspective of how you can perform various types of analysis. Now here, if you see, I've given you various examples. I'm also planning probably do one more second round where I'll pick up some more sample files and give you. Maybe I may do it on a Saturday. We can just watch. I think I'll take a final decision by the end of the day tomorrow. So maybe I'll do with some more data. I've just, in this case, I had only one type of file, which is advanced file. And I've shown you only with some example. For example, I didn't even show you 10 functions. Based on that, I was able to get the information. We can also do fuzzy match based on the borrower name. Like that, there are so many functions I can perform depending on the type of the analysis I want to perform. Now, let me show you one last thing, which is the column statistics. So if you see here, I got the account name. I want the gross amount. Okay, I can get a complete, now all the statistics are available. I'm just selecting the sample, this one. I want to do based on the limit. I say, okay. Now this will give me a complete perspective of the data for each type of the numeric data. I have selected only a few. Now if you see here, it gives me the average positive records, average of negative records, null records, sum of records, maximum value, minimum value, everything I get at one glance. Now I don't have any date related data, that's why it's not available. Character field also, it's not relevant here. Okay, so this to just give you an idea how you can perform analysis using data. Let me just show the results which I had got. So this is what I had got, the top 10 last records. This is the stratify based on each limit. I've already stratified the data. I can stratify based on the numeric. Now I've classified based on the sector. Now I classified based on the facility. Now see all these results are performed and saved it. Now just see how much you can also add it, append it as a part of file and identify. For example, here if you see based on the type of the loans, you got this substandard, standard, etc. You can verify based on this. You can take a call. Okay. Similarly, you got this percentage. Classify based on the borrower name. A duplicate identification based on the borrower name. Let me show you this. So I already showed you this. I think duplicate based on the borrower name. You can get the duplicate. Okay. So now here. Based on the account number, here based on the limit, based on the number, account number. Okay, this is how you can perform various types of analysis using ECAT. I just give you some sample examples as to how you can perform analysis using ECAT. Okay, let's come back. Let me stop sharing the screen. If you got any questions, I'll be glad to take it. Any questions? If you got any questions, you can unmute yourself or you can post it on the chat window. I hope this presentation was useful and gave you a perspective of how you can perform data analytics, especially the bank branch audit using ECAT. So thank you very much for joining. I hope to see you in the near future. Just watch out by tomorrow. I think I'll be posted on the website if I'm planning to do a second part with another series of, because there are about, I'm told there are about 17 types of files which you can get digitally. Yes, I'll be glad to share the presentation. But the presentation will have only the PPT. I have the sample data. What I can also share with you is I can share the 51 audit tests and the sample audit tests which I performed. Probably that could also be used for reference. And the sample data. Sample audit tests and data results. Okay, I'll be glad to share. Just send me an email so that we can do it. Yeah. Any other feedback? Thank you very much. If you require anything specific, what you can also do is you can share some sample files. I'll be glad to do that in the next presentation. Thanks a lot, Utsav. I hope you got an idea. See, I'm saying that if you use data analytics, you can perform much more powerful analytics. I'm not saying Excel is useless. Excel is also very good, but you do a lot of spend a lot of time to get the same result in Excel. In fact, my friend is there in Saharanpur, who is a famous Excel author, and he teaches a lot of things in Excel. And later on, he says that now you know how to drive in Maruti. Let me show you how you drive a Mercedes and see the experience. And then he shows the data analytics functions. And that's what is possible. In data analytics, you can do much more in a much more faster way and a much more quicker way. And you can also do it also creates the audit documentation of all the functions you performed. I didn't show the audit documentation. There is an audit log which is created automatically, which will be showing what all has been done. Not only that, you can rerun the audit tests which have been performed. For example, your staff have performed the function. Now you'd like to them to demonstrate what they have done. You can just rerun the function and you will be able to see the results once again in the sample data. The data what has been used for performing the function is already available. Okay, sorry, I took another 5 minutes extra. So thank you very much and look forward to see you in the future presentations. Tomorrow, I'm going to do one more presentation of the same data analytics software, but I'm going to do it using Softcat, which is the independent data analytics software. Here you have seen ECAT, which is a data analytics software which is added to Excel. You must have heard of IDEA or ACL. Softcat is software which is similar to that, which is a database independent software which has its own database. Tomorrow, I'm going to give a presentation on how to use Softcat, especially the bank branch audit. And then you'll be able to see how you can perform. And I'm going to do it using Softcat SQL version. Now in Excel, you may say that, okay, there is a limitation about 1 lakh record, 1,50,000 records. But in SQL, you know, there is no limit. You can perform a lot of analysis with the high volume of data. So thank you very much. And thanks for the compliments, and see you in the near future. Bye.